And here we are live with Dean Blundell and Zev Shalev on the FiveStack. We made it. We made it. Took us a minute.
Made it to what?
Here we are. We
made it to the FiveStack?
Yeah, I made it to
I made
you.
it from like 15 feet that way, having my pregame nap. That's where I made it from.
And how was that pre-game nap? Did you enjoy it?
I don't often do it, but I slept like shit last night.
Oh,
you know, it's one of those nights where you have 43 dreams. You're never really asleep.
Do you remember
wake
your
up.
dreams?
I do. Yeah, I remember last night's dream was horrific shit.
Yeah. I wasn't in
yeah.
it. Was I?
Well, no, you weren't in it. It was a kaleidoscope of like uncomfortable dreams. Welcome everybody. Thanks for coming. Welcome to the FiveStack. I'll get to my dreams in just a second. I had a dream that Donald Trump was at my house with ice goons asking me to come out. I had another dream that I was covered in ketchup and I couldn't get it off. It just kept coming. This is I don't know. Had no idea why. Ketchup. Yeah, it just kept coming. It was like that. You know that I don't have no idea, but you know the that viral video of the guy showering outside and people keep dumping like shampoo on his head and he can't get rid of the shampoo. Same thing, but ketchup.
Oh, yeah.
And who knows? I mean, just no sleep. And you know what? I'm one of those dudes that chases sleep. Like, I don't know about you, but if I don't sleep, I ain't right. Like, my nervous system's fucked. I'm depressed. I'm sad. I'm angry. I don't have perspective. I'm jittery. And I need like 8 hours. Dino needs 8 solid hours. And I got, I don't know, collectively 5 last night. And I went to bed at like 9:30 because I'm go to Pilates, go to bed, get up the next morning. Usually I'm good. So I had to have a cat nap, had to have a pregame nap today. And I felt bad doing it because all the shit was going on around me. Like all the stuff is exploding in the world. Trump renames Veterans Day Victory Day, stands up at Arlington Cemetery, says he's got a 92% approval rating, embarrasses the shit out of the United States of America on the most solemn day in America's history. So we had that going on. He's yelling at air traffic controllers, telling them to get back to work or they'll get fired. I mean, it's just like, it was bananas. And then we had the United Kingdom cancel intelligence sharing, and then Canada followed up by challenging that and canceling intelligence sharing with the United States. And I wake up and it's like, dude, you cannot.
We were going to put that in the rundown. We never got to.
Yeah,
I do want to hear about it because it is so important. What you're saying is that just tell us the story. It's on deanblundell.substack.com right now about how the intelligence sharing Five Eyes alliance has broken up.
Yeah, wild. We'll get to that. I'll give you a quick Coles Notes tour through that, but effectively, the United Kingdom doesn't want to have blood on their hands. They don't want to be accomplices to murder because Donald Trump and his sickos, his kakistocracy, his sick group of fascist fucks have killed 74 people in the Caribbean Ocean just because they want to, because they want the visuals, they want. And so the United Kingdom and Canada also have intelligence services surveillance in that area, as you know. And they collectively decided today, they're like, oh, maybe it's time to stop sharing some intelligence with the United States. And if you understand anything about the Five Eyes partnership, it's the United Kingdom, the United States, Australia, Canada, and France.
New Zealand, I think.
Sorry, New Zealand. And those countries share intelligence like unfettered. Well, that has now been like dialed back to the tits where they're not sharing any intelligence with the United States anymore, specifically when it comes to the Caribbean. And this follows suit. Last week, if you remember, 2 weeks ago, we had Danish intelligence dude, super stud. Jacob Carbo on the show. And he said he told us the Netherlands announced they were no longer sharing any intel with the United States of America. This is the most underqualified, under-talked about, underwritten, undercovered story in the world right now. I don't think people understand how little the free world trusts Donald Trump. And these are announcements that Canada, the United Kingdom, Netherlands, and a few other countries have made. How about the countries that haven't made announcements that have stopped or curbed intelligence sharing with the United States of America because they cannot stand Trump? Trump cannot shut the fuck up. Trump is using intelligence to literally stay in power and get visuals by killing individuals around the world. This is very, very Putin-esque. So, don't sleep on this story. It's going to be a big fucking story over the next couple of days.
The whole thing about intelligence is that it's meant to be secret. So these things are not normally made public. So the fact that these governments are making this stuff public tells you how bad things are. Normally, they're just quietly stop doing it. But they're actually making announcements to tell the rest of the world, we don't trust what this guy is up to in that part of the world. Also,
we're out.
To anybody who might be thinking that they could leak information to these foreign governments from the US government to say, hey, we're safe territory because we're not really pro-Trump. And that's really an important signal that they're sending everybody else in terms of officials or intelligence officers who want to share this information. But it all leads us to the number 5 story, which is, you point out, the Trump administration's undeclared war in Latin American waters escalated over the weekend with a USS Gerald R. Ford, the Navy's newest supercarrier, passing through the Straits of Gibraltar, headed for the Caribbean, while U.S. forces killed 6 more people in strikes on 2 vessels in the Eastern Pacific. Since September, this campaign has killed at least 75 people across 19 strikes, using MQ-9 Reaper drones, AC-130 gunships, and fighter jets, with zero public evidence presented that the targets were actually drug traffickers. The UN calls them extrajudicial killings. Families say they were fishermen. So this is escalating, and it won't stop. It looks like Trump is determined.
Yeah, he needs the visuals, and this is a gentleman. It's funny because it reorients. This story is reoriented, in my opinion, on a whole bunch of other things that people say are legitimate that I think are staged. I think a lot of these things are staged, meaning they're real. They're really killing people, but they're killing people without any due process. They're killing people without any intel. They're just fucking killing people in the Caribbean. And it is so bad now that families are speaking out. And you've got the Colombian government, the Mexican government, the Venezuelan government, and say what you want about the Venezuelan government, the Ecuadorian government. Ecuador has curbed sharing intel with the United States of America as well. Mexico has recently decided that they cannot trust Donald Trump and the Trump regime with intel as well. So we've got some honorable mentions when it comes to not sharing intelligence with the United States of America. And it all has to do with Donald Trump's inability to create some type of visual, some type of perception that America is being attacked, that America is under attack, that there's a national emergency when it comes to drugs, when it comes to terrorists, when it comes to those 2 key words that have given him the ability to trigger anything with that stupid fucking IEPA, where he can call a national emergency and tell everybody, we're just gonna start killing people. These are drug dealers. It's all the fucking thing I need. I'm the president of the United States. I can do what I want. And he's so fucking drunk on power now.
Yeah.
He is trying to create this perception around people. And I truly believe that he thinks it's a reality. I don't think he's been lied to. I think he's like, this is my reality, and I'm going to tell people it's their reality, and it's going to become my reality, because he is so fucked in the head. And for a second, if we can just talk about that dementia that he has been diagnosed privately with dementia. Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, has been diagnosed privately, I can't tell you, privately with dementia, and he has told nobody. Only his inner circle knows it. So let's add that on. A guy that can't fucking remember where he put his keys when they're in his pocket. A guy that can't stop falling asleep in the Oval Office during press conferences, ordering extrajudicial killings so that he can stay in power and continue to impress Americans with how fucking cool he is, how tough he is. What he is doing is he's committing crimes against fucking humanity. And if you want to know how cooked he is, and listen, if you don't think that these Five Eyes countries have stopped sharing intelligence with him prior to this, you're crazy. They're just now talking about it. But he is so fucked in the head right now. Pardon my language. I'm a little hot this morning, or a little hot this afternoon, because this stuff's
the same as always. You always have the same language.
Well, I know I should probably stop swearing so much. This is what Donald Trump put out. This is today. This is before he goes to Arlington Cemetery, before he delivers one of the most disgusting and embarrassing and self-serving, gaslit, lying piece of shit speeches I have ever seen in my life, where he's telling everybody he's got a 92% approval rating, up from 38%. He said that this afternoon. He puts this tweet out, this Truth Social post out in the middle of nowhere. If you want to know what he's doing, this is what he's doing. And it applies to the Caribbean. It applies to extrajudicial killings around the world. It is inserting a lie and then acting on that lie as if it were the truth so that he can hurt people. Puts out this Truth Social post. The Miracle Mile Shopping Center in in Chicago, doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Once considered our nation's best, has more than 28% vacancy factor, and is ready to call it quits unless something done about the murder and crime, which is prevalent throughout the city. I'm calling in the troops fast before it's too late. Just the news, he says. He's talking about the Magnificent Mile in Chicago, not the Miracle Mile. It is not a shopping center. It is a street with high-end stores. I've been there. You've probably been there as well. And a vacancy rate in the Miracle Mile is 1%. Not 28%, 1%. So, it's just more of the same. Like if I'm any ally of the United States of America, not named China, not named Russia, not named North Korea, not named Iran, I cut all ties with the United States intelligence services today. I cut all ties with the FBI, the CIA, DHS, CBP. I cut all intelligence service ties, information sharing, point blank, period, fucking stop.
The point is, though, America is also a supplier of a lot of top grade intelligence to the rest of the world. So, it's not like America isn't needed in this factor. But on the other hand, you're absolutely correct. What he's doing in the Caribbean is unbelievable. I mean, he's basically threatening to depose Maduro, the leader of Venezuela. He said this in 60 Minutes the other day, that his days are numbered. It's not his job. It's no one's job to decide who should be the leader of another country, unless they're committing some horrific crimes against humanity, which in his case, he's the one committing them. But Maduro is not a great leader. He's a dictator. Nobody likes him, but he's still the guy in charge of that country. And we just don't go in on the basis of a pretext that there is some sort of narco state, bringing drugs into America, which they're not doing. It's certainly not at the rates that they're suggesting, the regime is suggesting. And we just don't go into any country and depose them just because we feel like it. And the fact that he is willing to break international law, the fact that he's willing to even say so publicly is stunning. And then, of course, his defense secretary, his war secretary, whatever you want to call him, said this the other day. He said, we will treat them exactly how we treated Al-Qaeda. He's talking about fishermen who are out out on the international waters doing whatever it is they fishermen do. It's apparently getting fish. That's not Al-Qaeda, Peter Hegseth. That is not Al-Qaeda. And they certainly are not worthy of being killed by these unknown strikes that are costing American taxpayers, by the way, hundreds of thousands of dollars every single time they launch one of these strikes. It's a waste of taxpayer money, and it's completely misguided.
Well, he's murdering human beings so he can have a pretext to go to war. Like that is not new. That is not something that the United States is not unfamiliar with.
Yeah.
Regime change and hustling regime change, that is not something the United States is unfamiliar with. But it's never been this fucking public. It's never been this clandestine. It's never been this in your face. It's never been committing genocide in the middle of international waters. Like those waters that these people are being killed in, they don't belong to the United States of America. They're international fucking waters. So he's effectively doing exactly what, if you remember Duterte, the former president of the Philippines, who went to war against the drug cartel.
That's right. It's
bear
very much
with
like
me.
That.
He's at the Hague right now. He is literally in a jail cell. He is literally being deposed. He is going to either be put to death or spend the rest of his life rotting in a jail cell in Brussels. Donald Trump's doing the exact same thing. Now, the reason why Duterte did it is because he was deeply involved in the drug trade and he wanted to wipe out the fucking competition so he could control drug flow distribution in the Philippines, which he effectively did. That is the story that they're uncovering right now at the Hague. You'll never guess how many of the head honchos of the Sinaloa cartel and MS-13 from Venezuela Donald Trump has quietly brought into the United States under protective orders. You'll never guess. It's well over 50.
I heard there's a large amount of them. Now, why would he do that? Why would he be
while he's blowing up boats in the Caribbean? Yeah. Guess what he's doing? Guess what he's doing? He's getting rid of the fucking competition. On top of giving him a pretext to war. He can't stop drug use in his own fucking family. Never mind stop drugs coming into the United States of America. And he's just focusing on the Caribbean with infrared cameras. I haven't heard anything about ports of call across the United States, land crossing, port crossings, airports. I mean,
so basically,
while we're looking over there.
So you're not saying he's involved in the drug trade.
I absolutely am. I absolutely am asserting today that Donald Trump isn't just killing people as a pretext to war. I don't believe that. Just like I don't believe the assassination attempt was an assassination attempt in Butler, Colorado. Just like I don't believe Ivanka Trump fell down the stairs. I believe Donald Trump is up to no good, in as much as guys like Vladimir Putin, who controls the drug trade in Russia, in and out of Russia, like Xi controls the fentanyl trade in and out of China. I think Donald Trump is reading the fucking playbook, and I think he's doing exactly what those cats are doing. I really do believe that.
I mean, he's a mobster. It's certainly in the line of work that he has previously had. So maybe he still is. Maybe he's still in that same line of work. Although there's no evidence that he's obviously involved in the drug trade. We don't have that. But it's not impossible. It certainly fits in. The number 4 story: the White House floated backing a 50-year mortgage to solve the housing affordability crisis. A proposal economists immediately identified as predatory. A predatory trap is actually what they called it, that would cost borrowers an additional $389,000 in interest while taking 30 years just to accumulate $100,000 in equity. The average first-time home buyer is now 40 years old in America, meaning they'd be 90 when their house is paid off. But U.S. life expectancy is only 79. Even Trump backpedaled after the backlash, telling Fox News it might help a little bit before changing the subject. But they're still doing this. They have taken over Freddie Mac. They took over Freddie Mae after the 2008 collapse, and they have a lot of control. Mm-hmm. Of course, they would love to give you a 50-year mortgage because it means you never get to own your home.
Engineered poverty. I mean, we talk about it all the time, right? Any way that he can keep Americans giving him and his friends all their money, any way he can keep Americans in financial servitude, he is doing it. And this 50-year mortgage business, I mean, my fucking God. Like, I think it was FDR that approved 30-year mortgages, if you remember that correctly.
Freddie Mac and Freddie Mae, they can go up to 30. That's it. 50 years is...
Yeah, and so most mortgages are between, 10 and 30 years. 50 years, you're paying for your house sometimes 3 to 4 times, depending on the interest rate. And the interest rate is the only thing the banks care about.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what led to, this is a contributing factor, which is what led to 2008. And I'm sure we'll get to that because your Greatest Heist series is out. And I know I want to talk about it because it's all part of the same thing. It's how do you keep a group of people, how do you keep an entire country indentured to you? How do you keep every single person in that country super poor, hand to mouth, at your feet, begging you for any fucking handout that they can get, and then to take that handout and to feel really grateful for it. Part of that equation is, and I'm watching him, this is what con men do, right? Is they lean on these assets. He looks at every single American like they're a mark, like they're an idiot, like they're someone that can give him $5 just in case he wants to go to heaven with a fundraiser or a grift. Someone who has the ability to give him $10 or buy one of his stupid fucking Bibles. Is he looks at Americans like they are his bank, like but a bank that he can make withdrawals from any time and lie about the purposes of those withdrawals. And then what he does is he tips his hand sometimes. He'll say, well, like a couple of days ago, he's like, hey guys, the Supreme Court's going to whack the tariffs. If the Supreme Court gets rid of the tariffs, what am I going to do with this $2,000 check I have in my hands for you right here that I'm going to give to every American? And then with the healthcare thing, which you're never getting, and then with the healthcare,
there's no check.
There is never going to be a check.
Yeah.
You are never getting any money.
Yeah.
Then he floated this thing where Democrats were going to voted to restart the government, which was stupid. Sold everybody out, 40 days for nothing. And then he takes a swipe at the insurance companies. He's like, they're doing you dirty. How about America? I give each one of you $3,000, $3,000 check, and you can go and buy your own health insurance anywhere you want. That check is also not coming.
Yeah.
Like the COVID checks that still aren't coming. Like the $5,000 tariff shelf checks that aren't coming. Like the $600 checks they floated after he floated the $5,000 tariff check. Those aren't coming. A 10% tax deduction for the middle class. That's not coming. If you remember correctly, when he rose to office the second time, he's like, pretty sure tariffs are going to be so awesome, we're going to be able to get rid of income tax.
Yeah. No, income tax is staying.
It's this constant like fucking dragging people along, and then fucking them.
And then stealing all the way through. I mean, they're stealing. I mean, those tariffs are probably going to land up in his pocket. And of course, then there's cryptocurrency, what's happening with crypto, but that's a whole other story. But you're right that this number 4 story about the mortgages does tie into the Greatest Heist Part 2, Chapter 1 came out yesterday, which is my new series on narrative.org. And it's all about the origins of the 2008 market crash that really tore up people's dreams, that had lost a lot of home ownership for a lot of people. 10 million people lost their homes. It landed up costing America trillions of dollars, like $30 trillion, in order just to bail out that entire effort that happened in 2008. And in The Greatest Heist, I sort of do the origin story of all of this. And in the research, I look. That's what I always do. I always start at the end, and then I go backwards and backwards and backwards. And I was like, well, what happened before this? What happened before the 2008 crash? Where were all these players before? And it started off with Jeffrey Epstein's arrest, in 2006. And then I started backtracking all the players around him at the time. And one of those players was Jess Staley, which is this dude over here. Let me get a picture of him so you can see it. Hang on. This is Jess Staley, former CEO of Barclays Bank, also former friend of Jeffrey Epstein, best friend of Jeffrey Epstein. Now, he claims and has claimed for the longest time that he met Jeffrey Epstein in 2000, that he took over as the head of private banking at JP Morgan in 1999. And then at his former chairman's behest, he decided to go and meet Epstein. So let me just find the right site. I'm a little behind on this, but
you're right.
Yeah. Let me just find the right stuff here. So the original, this is from the actual depositions, and I want to make sure I show you the actual depositions, so it's not, so you get to see the real stuff. So, and you can see the actual number of the article and all that from there in the top of the screen here. But in 2000, Sandy Warner was the head of JP Morgan, and he told Staley that he should meet Epstein because he's one of the most connected people I know of in New York. And that's when he says that introduction happened in 2000. Only it turns out that is a lie. That what Staley says, that he met Epstein on Warner's recommendation in 2000, isn't actually true, because in another deposition, the same guy, Staley, admits that he actually met Epstein much earlier. Staley testified that he first met Wexner when JP Morgan took over the Limited Public in the mid-90s during a visit to the Limited headquarters in Columbus. And then he says he met Epstein briefly. Epstein had an office at the Limited headquarters. So Stacey claimed that he saw him a couple of minutes, but he didn't know who Epstein was. So basically, you've got two different contradictory statements here. And so you might think, was this guy lying? Why was he lying? Why did he never reveal the 96 meeting with Epstein? I mean, why didn't he just say I met him in 96? Why was there's a whole construction around 2000 and this meeting between Epstein and Staley in 2000, but it wasn't their actual meeting. The meeting was years earlier. So this is where the story gets really interesting. And, I know this is a complicated story, and as people are reading it, it's sort of like, it's hard to know where it's going. But you've got Wexner, who's this big-time mobster who lives in Columbus, Ohio. He is everything that happens in Ohio. And he hires Epstein to help him do a lot of funny business in the 90s and successfully does so. He also, it turns out, was working with this guy, Staley, who was at JP Morgan. He was also working with another guy named Kessler, who was on the JP Morgan board. And as we find out in chapter 1 of The Greatest Heist, he was also working with Jamie Dimon, who became the CEO of JP Morgan. So chances of all these four dudes in one place in the 90s in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio, very unlikely, right? Like it's like what? And then these four people all end up getting into JP Morgan or being attached to JP Morgan in the run up to the 2008 collapse.
Yeah.
And so JP Morgan is now the CEO of Jamie Dimon. He's now the CEO of JP Morgan.
And he was at that meeting in Ohio with Jess Staley, Lex Wessner, Jeffrey Epstein.
At that meeting, but he was connected to them later because he became the bank of a bank that Leslie Wexner also really helped finance, called Bank One. And that Bank One was associated, you have to read the chapter for that part, but Bank One was associated with this company that Wexner had. It gets a little fuzzy, but ultimately he was very connected to Wexner and to Staley and to Kessler, who was the director of Bank One and a partner of Jeffrey Epstein and Wexner in a business they held.
Yeah.
The bottom line is Yeah,
sorry. No, and I just want to ask a question because I read your piece today. If anybody is unfamiliar with Zev's incredible work when it comes to the greatest heist, he's on book 2. His first chapter dropped yesterday. If you go to narrative.org, you can check it out. Become a paid member. It is well worth your time. What a creepy turn of events, because you really do outline the beginnings of what became this incredible rugging of the United States, the theft of the American dream with 4 guys, right? Kessler, Jess Staley, Wexner, and Epstein.
Yeah.
And it all happened in this Ohioan playground that was built exclusively for the rich so that they could do whatever the fuck they wanted anytime they wanted, away from prying eyes, that was managed and policed by whoever Leslie Wexner and Jeffrey Epstein decided it should be managed and policed by.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fascinating, because what is Little Jeff's Island? What was the Lolita Express? What was the entire premise around the Epstein files? What was the entire honeypot idea? It was, listen, we want to control the way things work. We don't want to be told what we can and can't do. We're all a bunch of perverse degenerates that are more interested in making money. And that money went through J.P. Morgan's hands, through guys like Jess Staley, guys like Jamie Dimon, for well over 2 decades, knowingly burying their heads in the sand, knowingly not giving a shit that these young girls and women and young men and young kids were being exploited, trafficked, and raped, so that these guys could honeypot the free world into turning this enterprise into what we now know today as something that might bring down multiple governments. Like, your backstory in that first chapter blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, thank you for that great summary. You should do these things for me, because that's
How
great.
can you tell I read your piece?
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thanks for the free subscription, by the way.
It is free, isn't it? I think you have one. Don't you?
Yeah, you did. I know you did. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying thank you. Otherwise, I would have had to pay to read it.
But it's
I'm going to pay. I would pay to read that any day of the week. Everybody should pay to read it, because you truly do set the fucking table. Like, more than I have ever seen the table set. It's
because
awesome.
what happens is, everyone loses their homes. The markets collapse in 2008, and this is not a spoiler because we know what happens in 2008, but you'll find out so many great details along the way. Is the American economy crashes? Barack Obama becomes president, and as he becomes president, the whole thing collapses. And who is there to handle the organization and the bailouts and the picking up of all the pieces is Jamie Dimon, who becomes this, superstar banker who helped save the American economy. Only he didn't really save the American economy. He ended up costing the American economy $30 to $40 trillion. And so we're going to find this out over this, and that's just like the beginning part of the book. This is an extraordinary tale as you start unpacking it that will really blow people's minds away and make you angry. I mean, if it doesn't make you angry, I don't know what will, because it really is the theft of the American dream as we know it today.
I really want to look into New Albany now. Like, I was like,
check out the website. You have to go to see New Albany.
It looks creepy. It's like Stepford shit.
It is. It's Stepford Wives. It's Georgian home after Georgian home after Georgian home. They all look the same. It's impenetrable, really, because they're all got these windy roads. It's really hard for people to see. It's controlled by armed guards and this militia that basically runs around the thing. It's on the banks of the Ohio River, so it's got that whole thing that I talk about, the fog it's actually often very foggy there, and it's sort of like an eerie kind of place. It does feel very Stepford Wivesy, and it's only for rich white people. I mean, they don't even have a proper democracy there. They say,
oh, dude, you have to get approved to live there, and you got to meet certain standards. From what I understand, New Albany is like they keep it white and all right. Like they don't give a shit about anything other than, are you white? Are you rich? Do you feign faith? And come on in. Do you hate rules? Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. The country club there is so exclusive. They've got like 30 members. Like, and you can't get in. You cannot get in to play golf there. Because they don't want. Well, no, and it's not because it's that exclusive. They don't want people knowing what they do.
Yeah. Well, this is a very serious point that comes out of all of this, because, for a period of, I think, 3 months, Maria Farmer, who was one of the people who was an Epstein victim, a survivor of that, she was held hostage in Wexner's home
in New Albany.
And she couldn't get out. And she wanted to get out, but she couldn't get out for 3 months. And that tells you that who is the law in New Albany, who's the law in Ohio. It's not the police. It's not the police. And so that whole community is run in a very different way that is very much a Stepford's Wivesy kind of
This is a
eerie.
movie.
The whole thing is a movie. Yeah, it needs to be a movie.
Like this, like the Epstein shit is a section of the movie, but New Albany is a movie. It could be one of those creepy, you know, when you watch these movies after Armageddon, where they've got these armed guards and cult compounds and shit like that, or you know, you see movies where I'm watching this new movie called Plurbius, I think it is, Reese Horn from. Which or new show Plurbius. It's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Where there's 100%. Okay. Where they've got literally it's a Vince Gilligan thing.
Okay, I gotta check it out.
And they've got this hive mind of this perfect community. Everybody's been infected by this what appears to be some kind of fucked up alien virus, where you know this is just the alien community. This is who we are, you know, and everybody is keeping an eye on everybody. Everybody's snitching on everybody, but nothing gets in, nothing gets out, nothing.
It is that kind of place, and it would be an incredible movie just to be able to get insight into what they do over there. I read their planning documents, and it's also eerie. It's also bizarre. It's like your house looks exactly like your neighbor's house. You know, everything looks the same, including your skin color. There's one black person I saw in one of the photos, which they sort of highlights because they're like, "This is our community," but you keep seeing the same one black.
Here's our black.
Yeah, there's our black over there. It's something else. So I hope people subscribe, and I hate to be asking people for paid subscriptions, but I got to survive. This is a 8-year project. It's certainly costing a lot of money. So I appeal to everyone to investigative journalism is not cheap, and it's also can be very expensive to defend if you ever need to get there. So if you can subscribe, please do. At some point,
do it.
I'll do some.
Do it. It's the most complete read from start to finish. If you get a subscription, you can read the entire Greatest Heist book 1, and you can start to get into book 2, and the tracks that Zev lays, my friends, are unparalleled in the industry. Unparalleled because nobody is willing to have this conversation. Being in Canada probably helps, but I mean they've come after you dozens of times. Yeah. Like, and when I say they, I mean they. So everybody, please go and get this in your brain. Mainline it. Give Zev $8 a month. I don't care what you give him. Just make sure you pay because you need to go and take that in. Share that content with as many people as you can. And he's doing this work out of the kindness of his heart. And never ask for anything. Like you're one of the least most, hey, give me a sub guys on the planet. So please go and do it, because it's well worth it. And you need to be armed with this information because this is the craziest shit I've ever read.
Yeah. Thank you for that. That's great. Thanks for saying that. And also, it's the story of America. People need to understand exactly what's happened to their money for the last, since 2000, well, the last 40 years, really. That's why you're getting 50-year mortgages now. And it leads us to the number 2 story. Ghislaine Maxwell is preparing a commutation application for Trump while receiving what a whistleblower calls concierge-style treatment at a minimum security Texas prison camp. Custom meals delivered to her cell, private recreation after hours, time playing with puppies. It's all on deanblundell.substack.com. What's happening there with Ghislaine Maxwell?
Oh, she's not just playing with puppies. They gave her one, so she's got a pet.
Makes me so mad. It makes me so mad.
This story continues to evolve and amaze me, and Donald Trump doesn't say anything about it. If he's asked, he's like, well, I don't know. It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with him. She is getting preferential treatment, so she keeps her trap shut. She is getting preferential treatment because Donald Trump and Todd Blanche have told her, seemingly, if you just shut up, we'll send you to this club fed. She now has a puppy. She now does Pilates class on her own. She's got a private Pilates instructor. She gets private meals cooked by a chef. The warden actually is helping edit her commutation documents. She is now asking for a commutation / pardon from Donald Trump. She gets to work out all the time. Her emails have been hacked. I'll read you one. This is one that she sent to her family, one of her relatives. Bryant, Texas, which is where she is a very different beast. Every possible respect to where I was. It is a well-managed, well-run institution with an excellent warden who leads from the top. She is a true professional and the best representative of the Department of Prisons I have ever met. The food is excellent. The place this is not
sounds ridiculous.
Prison. The food is excellent. The place is clean. The staff is responsive and polite. I haven't heard or seen the usual foul language or screaming accompanied by threats leveled at emails by anyone. Keep in mind that she's talking about civility. This is a woman that helped or did rape thousands of young underage girls, boys, and women. And she's like, I haven't heard any swearing. You fucking kidding me? I have not seen a single fight, a drug deal, a passed out person, or naked inmate running around, or several of them congregating in the shower. Which, it's not.
Is this her TripAdvisor review of this thing? Or?
Yeah, of the prison. This is like her Yelp review of Brian
It sounds like it. It sounds like, I'll give it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah. In other words, I feel. Listen to this. I feel like I have been dropped through Alice in Wonderland's looking glass. I am much, much happier here and, more importantly, safe. So, yes, everyone can breathe a sigh. How nice is that? Jamie Raskin sent a 6-page letter, and the House Oversight Committee has now instituted an investigation, not just because of these leaked emails, but because she is now asking for a pardon and commutation for Donald Trump. And you heard it here first, maybe second, maybe third, which he is considering, according to the House Oversight Committee. He is considering commuting Ghislaine Maxwell's sentence. He has commuted sentences of some of the harshest dickheads, some of the worst criminals. He's made guys like Kushner's dad the fucking ambassador to France. So it does not, it would not surprise me in the slightest if he takes a look at this. He's like, you know what, just get her out and she'll be quiet and then she'll never say anything. And we'll send her to a non-extradition country. She can live out her life there. And then I'm happy. And then she's got me covered and everybody's happy. But the most prolific child sex trafficker, pedophile in American history is getting perks. She's getting a commutation and may get a pardon as well. The whistleblower account, so inmates are now emailing Jamie Raskin, sending him letters saying, not only do we not get the special treatment she gets, and by the way, I'm in jail for stealing a fucking Snickers bar, is if we complain about it, we get put in solitary confinement. If we have words with her, or if we have an issue with how she sexually trafficked young kids, we get put in solitary confinement. Something has to be done. And Ghislaine Maxwell, let me just get to her love of the warden, sent another email in September talking about the warden. The warden is helping her write, the warden of this fucking prison is helping her write her commutation papers to Donald Trump to try and get a pardon. Hello, she says to her brother, or to her attorney, rather. I spoke to the warden about the problem with the mail, telling her that the documents have not arrived yet for my commutation. We're now on day 7. This is the worst pedophile sex trafficker in the United States history. I explained that we had a deadline that hinges on the Supreme Court and that I was hoping to have 2 turns of the document before it files with the court as soon as possible by the end of the month. Her creative solution was that you scan it, give it to her, she'll give it to me so I can make the changes, and then she'll go and reproduce the document. I assume that you're fine with that.
Wow. It's just makes you mad. It just makes me mad. I don't easily get mad, but this makes me mad. This woman is not only a rapist and a child trafficker, she also participated in this massive financial crime against American people, and she's now being paid for this whole experience, this luxury camp that she had is being paid for by taxpayers. It's being paid by you,
personal chef.
It's unbelievable.
She has her own suite there, dude.
And then the warden, who is basically, I guess one of the people said that they was tired of being her bitch or something like that in one of the whistleblower statements. I mean, it is horrific that this person is being treated like this because she's protecting the president. I mean, let's be clear about what she's doing. She's protecting the U.S. president from the crimes he committed from being disclosed. I mean, he is obviously a career criminal, and she knows exactly what he did, and she knows exactly what he did with Jeffrey Epstein when he was his best friend, which means she knows a lot of the dirt that's inside the files right now in the FBI that could be released if they actually get their act together in the House.
She knows all of it,
and so
she knows all of it. Everything.
To protect him, to protect that thug who's in the White House right now, she's getting treated like a rock star at some sort of rehab. That is ridiculous. That is unbelievable. Being paid for by the U.S. taxpayer while he's cutting medical aid and healthcare for millions of Americans at exactly the same time. Cutting SNAP benefits?
Yeah, cutting SNAP benefits, taking away people's Medicaid. Meanwhile, making sure that she gets concierge treatment at a prison that's not a prison, it's a fucking camp where she gets a private Pilates instructor. She gets to keep a puppy with her at all times. Anywhere she goes, no other inmates are allowed to go. She is not allowed, people are not allowed to speak with her. They're not allowed to bring up Trump's name. She has her own personal chef. It is fucking wild. And all of it is in return for either silence or just playing along with the game that Donald Trump is trying to play to stay away from the Epstein files. Now, there's no way they're going to be able to stay away from them because new reports, victims are saying, oh, not only did I have sex with Donald Trump, but there are videos of us having sex. And I know that. There are multiple reports, whether it be Schuster, whether it be the New Republic, whether it be Politico, that are detailing how much worse this is going to be for Donald Trump when these things come out. And that is going to make people even angrier. Consider this about Ghislaine Maxwell. Consider this. How many of those victims are American-born that are now women that now pay taxes? Their tax dollars are going to giving her a first-class treatment at Club Fed in Bryant, Texas, after she stole their innocence. That is some of the sickest shit in the world.
It really is. Well done, MAGA. You really elected a great president. You really,
awesome, dude.
You really did well. Really did well on this one. The number one story, Judge Diana Gibson rejected Utah's Republican-drawn congressional map and adopted one from a centrist coalition, ruling the GOP version, which divided Salt Lake City into 4 Republican majority districts, violated the state constitution. Republicans immediately vowed to restore constitutional government because apparently the Constitution is whatever helps them win. So this is a big story because we've seen it in Texas. We've seen it not happen in Kansas. They rejected the Republican gerrymandering. And now we're seeing Utah reject the gerrymandering, which means Democrats essentially get an extra seat out of that congressional map the centrists proposed in Salt Lake City in Utah. That's a big deal. The allure of Donald Trump might be fading a little bit.
Yeah. Sucks to suck, I guess. I mean, this has always been, the issue that Donald Trump has had. This is going to be the ongoing issue he has now that America's woken up. And America's woken up. The other day when you watched him get booed and middle fingered by 80,000 people at the Commanders-Lions game, that was a real-time indictment and a real feeling. It was a vibe. You could tell that everybody in the United States of America fucking hates the man. And that's just not people that go to a football game. Like, that's a captive audience. If you go to a NASCAR race, you might get a different response.
Right.
But if you have an educated individual who is doing the job by applying the law according to what the Constitution of the United States government and the state of Utah says that they can do, he's just going to continue to lose. And these losses are piling up, whether it be what happened with Prop 50 in California, whether it be Virginia electing Spanberger, whether it be New Jersey, same thing in Kansas had happened, that got struck down, same thing in Utah. Is the effort for him now is Herculean to be able to stay in power. And all of these things matter to him because all he wants to do is stay in power in 2026, because if he loses, and he will, he is truly and deeply screwed.
Yes.
He is going to lose the House. He is going to lose the Senate, and he can't win on merit. And let me just remind everybody that there is no way an authoritarian movement can win on merit in the United States of America. Same thing with Canada. Here we have Maple MAGA. They're now dead. I helped kill them. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
You did help kill them. Thank you very much.
I did. And I'm going to come down to the United States and help kill that too.
Okay, good.
But they can't win on merit, so they have to cheat. And sometimes when you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar, like they just got caught with their hand in the cookie jar, things can get much worse. So they got their redistricting in Utah, but they redistricted it to the point where the judge in Utah said, let's take a centrist approach to this. Let's make it fair and equitable. And that fair equity led to probably the probability that the Democrats just got an extra seat in the fucking state of Utah.
Yeah.
So like you can't, the inability to do anything properly, the lying, the cheating, the gaslighting, how ham-handed, how completely uneducated these people are, how they don't mind their P's and Q's, how they never button things up like they're supposed to, and how they truly have had to employ some of the dumbest fucking people on the planet to do their bidding, because you're not going to get a smart person that goes, you know what? It's a great idea. I'd like to be part of an authoritarian movement in the United States of America, and I'd like to go to jail in case it doesn't work. You're not getting the smart. They're not sending their smartest.
No, because
they're not sending their brightest.
Of course, no one wants to work with them. Why would anyone want to work with them? They got the worst people in the world doing stuff for them. But they're still trying to do it. Can they actually achieve anything in the next year? I don't think so. I think it's going to be a lame duck presidency. I'm a little worried that they'll have a year to sort of fix their image a little bit, and I hope Democrats don't let up here. I think that this their ability to control the message is so remarkable that sometimes you got to wonder whether they'll be able to pull something out of the bag here and convince people that they're doing the right thing, or that somehow they're misunderstood, or whatever it is that they might come up with. So I hope that doesn't happen.
I don't think it can anymore. I'd listen. I think we're past that point of no return when it comes to the reputation and the rugging of the American people.
Yeah.
All the stories that we talked about today, from Ghislaine Maxwell's preferential treatment, she got herself a new schnauzer, to the redistricting failure that happened in Utah, to the beginnings and the deep understanding. What's that?
Sorry, I was trying to, while we're talking here, I was going to try to show you some of the stuff we couldn't get yesterday, which was him getting booed at the football game the other day.
Oh, please. Just stop me anytime.
And I just thought I could see.
This is honest to God. Watch this video, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, my Substack family. Okay. Watch this video.
Let's try to play it.
You can't fucking hide from this.
You can hear it, right?
No, can't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear it?
No. Maybe it's me. I don't know if anybody else can hear it. Let us know.
Be me. Let me just try. No, I'm sorry. I thought I probably tried to do something I shouldn't have tried.
Don't be sorry. I'll get it. You tried on the fly. You tried to make it better.
I tried to make the show work differently, but it's not letting me do what I wanted to do because
I got it. Okay. The audio is not going to be great, but you'll get.
I'll play the video. You play the audio.
Well, here. Let me just put this up here. Look, this is a fucking NFL game.
I love that.
Dude, that is the State of the Union.
Oh,
Gig's up. Gig is up. He's not going to be able to make it happen. He's such a fucking loser.
He is, and everything that today's show has been about, from the attack on Venezuela, the murder of 75 innocent people in international waters, the attempt to overthrow Maduro, which is apparently coming, his unbelievable mistreatment of Ghislaine Maxwell, that she's treating her like some sort of rock star, while we're revealing that his people, the network that Donald Trump is part of, stole $40 trillion from Americans in the last 40 years, and especially because of the 2008 crash. And then on top of that, we've got the unbelievable 50-year mortgages that they're willing to offer people, where people can overextend themselves even more and never own their homes ever, making the American dream a complete pipe dream. This is what this Make America Great Again president is all about. It is an appalling state of affairs, and that is the Substack today, or the FiveStack today on Substack. What have you got going on at deanblundell.substack.com that we should know about?
I wasn't ready for this.
Oh.
Now I have to go back to I shut my computer. You got me on it.
I'll tell you what you got going on there. You've got a lot of great stuff. Along with the stories we've been telling you about today, he's also got a story about the Remembrance Day and Trump wanting to change the name of the Remembrance Day. You've got more.
No, he changed it to Victory Day. We've also got a great story about he literally overnight, before Remembrance Day started, took the names of 175 African Americans off a World War II memorial in the Netherlands, because America's white, right? Black people didn't do anything about that. We got the Ghislaine Maxwell story there. We've also got
the Five Eyes story. So good,
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You got to read it. And then we've got the all caps, no paycheck when Trump threatened America's air traffic controllers today. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
I'll just read this to you and I'll let everybody go about their merry way. Shutdown's done. Air traffic controllers haven't been paid in well over a month, while he's paying ICE goons to kick the shit out of Americans, paying them very well, giving them $50,000 bonuses, saying there's no money. So the shutdown's done. Air traffic controllers, a lot of them have quit to go get other jobs because they can't afford to miss another fucking paycheck. It's not because they're not patriots. It's not because they're assholes. But just a message to all you American air traffic controllers. God bless you. Thank you for keeping. Like, there's no way those planes should still be in the sky. If you stayed, great. If you didn't, fine. I love you. But let's get you back to work because I got to go to Nashville tomorrow. As he puts this out, this is today as well. All air traffic controllers must get back to work now. Anyone who doesn't will be substantially docked. For those air traffic controllers who are great patriots and didn't take any time off, no one got paid. For the Democratic shutdown hoax, everything that he does is a Democratic hoax, by the way. I will be recommending a bonus of $10,000. You're never getting this money, by the way. $10,000 per person for distinguished service to our country. For those who did nothing but complain and took time off, meaning for those of you who complained that you weren't getting paid because you couldn't feed your family and had to go get another job, even though everyone knew that they would be paid in full shortly into the future. How many contractors have you said that to? I am not happy with you, he said. You didn't step up to help the USA against the fake Democrat attack.
Oh my gosh.
This fucking guy's nuts.
He really is a mob boss. I mean, everything about him is a mob boss.
Fuck, I hate him. That was only meant to hurt our country. So now he's saying air traffic controllers and the Democrats are trying to hurt the country.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
You will have a negative mark, at least in my mind, against your record in my mind.
Which you're losing.
If you want to leave the service in the near future, please do. Don't hesitate to do so with no payment or severance of any kind. You will be quickly replaced by true patriots who will do a better job on the brand new state-of-the-art equipment, the best in the world. No one knows what this is, that we are in the process of ordering. The last administration wasted billions of dollars trying to fix antiquated junk. They had no idea what they were doing. Again, to our great American patriots, God bless you. I won't be able to send you money fast enough. To all the others, report to work immediately. God bless America. President Donald.
On that note, that is the FiveStack today. You can check out my stuff at narrative.org, narrativ.org, and Dean's stuff at deanblundell.substack.com. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 if you're there on time. Is that right?
I won't be there on time. So tomorrow is going to be a bit of a shit show. We might have to go a little early or go a little late.
All right. We'll find out tomorrow. That's the show
guys.
for today. Have a great day, everybody. Cheers.